Welcome back to the Angry Man Podcast with Jason and Greg. And there's a topic that I would like to discuss after seeing the performance of Tyson Fury tonight against Francis Ngannou, and that is Deontay Wilder. And I've never been a person that's been big on conspiracy theories. That's just not who I am. I don't like really going down that path, and a lot of people who know me personally know that I don't like that. And we didn't have a channel at the time in which Tyson Fury fought Deontay Wilder. And there were a number of reasons for why Deontay Wilder lost the second fight. Some of which I thought were ridiculous, like, a heavy outfit or a heavy suit. Some which I felt were possibly legitimate, meaning the gloves, because the gloves did look a bit funky. Now, when I saw Francis Ngannou tonight, I was surprised with how Tyson Fury struggled with Ngannou, and it wasn't necessarily that Ngannou did anything specifically well. It's not like he showed a high level of boxing skill or boxing IQ, ring IQ, if you will. It was the hesitancy, at least in my opinion, of Tyson Fury relative to Ngannou's power. So that's interesting to me because, as I mentioned before in a previous video, you got MMA power. We get that. There's people that can punch in MMA, but boxing is a different sport, and you have on bigger gloves. Boxers are taught to actually punch. Most MMA strikers are not taught to punch correctly, where they're putting all of their force and the power of their body behind their punches like boxers do. And so, this whole thing about Ngannou having a lot of power going into this fight, I didn't necessarily subscribe to that notion that he was going to come in with this extreme level of power. Now, Tyson Fury was definitely hesitant relative to his power, and he got dropped in tonight's fight, which was interesting. Now, when I think about Deontay Wilder, Wilder is one of the hardest punchers that we've ever seen in the sport. Wilder he's a big puncher, period. And he didn't have the same level of hesitancy for Deontay Wilder's power as he did for Francis Ngannou, which I thought was strange. And I cannot come up with a reason as to why he didn't have the same level of concern. I mean, he was concerned about Deontay Wilder's power, but it didn't give him the same level of hesitancy to get his shots off. And quite frankly, Deontay has been fighting for a long time. He definitely has more skill than Francis Ngannou relative to boxing. And then the other thing that I noticed, which was interesting to me, is that Wilder, in my opinion, has a pretty good chin. Not only does he have a pretty good chin, but Wilder has just the heart of a lion, man. I mean, Wilder is a warrior, regardless. And I've been critical of Wilder in the past because I think sometimes he relied on his power a little bit too much and didn't necessarily focus on, sharpening up those tools to set up the power. But that's changed since he's been with Malik Scott. So kudos to them for that. But for whatever reason, Tyson Fury was able to hurt Wilder in a way that he couldn't hurt Francis Ngannou. And again, I find that to be utterly strange. Now, again, I'm not into conspiracy theories. I don't know what's going on in regards to this, but he landed a couple of times, more than a couple of times, on Francis Ngannou flush. Early in the fight, he landed some good right hands later on in the fight. Threw a couple of uppercuts. I don't think any of those uppercuts landed flush, but he did throw a couple of uppercuts. And nothing he threw hurt Francis Ngannou, yet he was able to hurt and stop Deontay Wilder. It's just, I don't know, man. I struggle with it. I really do. I struggle with it. We've heard all the stories about the gloves. We've heard stories about the wraps and everything. And I'm not going to say that is true or not true. I don't know. But when you think about it, you tend to think that maybe something like that could possibly be true. How is it that Ngannou? I'm not saying he doesn't have a good chin. I'm sure he does. I haven't seen a whole lot from him. But Wilder certainly also has a really good chin. And somehow, he was just able to connect on Wilder in a way that he wasn't able to connect on Francis Ngannou. And not only that, actually, I won't say that. He was able to connect on Francis Ngannou as well, but just the level of damage that he was able to inflict on Wilder throwing the same shots, he was not able to inflict that same level of damage on Ngannou. So it's very strange. Now, we know that that Tyson Fury has no interest in getting in the ring with Deontay Wilder again. He said something about a fourth fight would be possible, but I don't believe that to be the case because he didn't really want to make the third fight. When you think about it, he was trying to get out of the third fight with Deontay Wilder. So I don't think he will get into the ring with Wilder again unless Wilder won a title and actually forced him to get into the ring, which, with Usyk having all the belts and Usyk being scheduled to fight Tyson Fury next, I don't think that fight's going to happen. But it's just very suspect how he was able to inflict damage to Deontay Wilder in terms of headshots, Deontay jaw swollen, eye swollen, just a level of damage. And then you look at Francis Ngannou, he walks out of this fight and I mean, he has a baby face, doesn't even look like he's been in a fight, and he was landed on flush. So I don't know, man. Anybody that currently, I'm going to say this to people because a lot of people, they have Tyson Fury in their pound for pound rankings in the top 10. Anybody that has Tyson Fury in their top 10 pound for pound rankings after today, you should be ashamed of yourself. I'm not a big fan of having heavyweights in the pound for pound rankings to begin with because typically heavyweights don't necessarily demonstrate the level of skill of some of the lower weight classes. But, a lot of people will have heavyweights in there, so be it. But if you got Tyson Fury in your top pound for pound list at the moment after seeing him and his performance against Francis Ngannou, you need to get examined. There's no reason for him to be in the top 10. And you should actually fully expect Alexander Usyk to win the fight against Tyson Fury. So it's interesting. It's just something that popped into my mind that I was thinking about. I'm like, man, I want to discuss it with the folks on the channel and anybody else that's out there. How is it possible that Tyson Fury was able to land cleanly on Francis Ngannou several times during the course of this fight? Francis Ngannou, who's someone who is new to boxing. I mean, not new to combat sport, but new to boxing. Deontay Wilder, guy that's taller, longer, able to, display a level of boxing skills that Francis Ngannou would not be able to display just because he's been in the sport for a little bit longer. I get that, Fury leaned on Wilder a lot, but again, he tried to do something similar to Francis Ngannou as well. Just something just seems off to me, guys. I can't put my finger on it, but maybe you guys know what it is. I don't know. Tell me what you think in the comment section. Tyson Fury is able to land on Francis Ngannou, can't hurt him. Somehow he can throw the same shots against Deontay Wilder, hurt him, stop him, and cause damage. It's just interesting. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Don't forget to hate, like, comment, and subscribe. This is the Angry Man Podcast, AM Sports Media, and I am